is. If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
Hello and welcome to episode 419 of Picks and Ponies, right here on the HHH Racing Podcast. I am your proud host, Howard Kravitz. Thank you very much for joining us today. What a weekend we have to discuss and what a show we have for you this evening. It is Haskell weekend at beautiful Monmouth Park in Oceanport, New Jersey. We're going to be talking about 6 stake races, including, of course, the Grade 1 Haskell and the return of the very talented and popular Journalism is back, facing some familiar foes. Of course, also Saratoga, which we're not covering tonight. The Ben and Boozin boys did a great job of covering that last night. They've got a nice card and is opening weekend at Del Mar. And wow, did our Pacific Horse Player young guys did a great job covering that on Tuesday night. Please check out our shows from earlier this week. And in addition, Noah Maher, host of Pacific Horse Players, also put out a short 15-minute Del Mar 2025 meet preview, along with the regular show on Tuesday with Jackson and Rian, covering the late pick 5 sequence on opening day / night tomorrow, Friday, as we're filming here Thursday night. Just one of my favorite weekends of the year. I hope you are as excited as I am. Before I bring in my co-host, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, bottom right hand side of the screen, notification bell top right. Smash that like button below the video player. You can listen to us at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. Of course, you can follow us on X at HHH Racing Pod. We are over 3,200 followers now there. Great tip sheets below the video player in the description. Please check that out. Del Mar Power Pick tip sheets are available through a week from today. Now, even though they do start this weekend tomorrow, you can still buy the Power Picks next week as well, even though you'll miss only a few, like 3 Power Pick tip sheets. But we encourage you to look into that. Noah, Ryan, and Jackson do a great job with that. They're out on the West Coast. They know trainers and owners out there and can give some intel that, frankly, myself, Pete, and Paul, and other people, talent on this podcast cannot, because we're not living out there. So if you are not subscribed to the Power Pick tip sheet, look on that, and you can do that through our website, hhhracingpodcast.com. All right, I'll save a few other promos that I want to give for later in the show. Let me go ahead and bring in my great co-host. It's been a little bit since we've been all together. I've been busy. Paul, Pete, we've all been doing our own thing, but the gang is all back. First, from the 25th anniversary Saratoga special in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Mr. Paul Halloran, and from the East Coast of Maryland. I know he wishes we were probably talking about Del Mar, but hey, we're talking about his former state where he used to reside, New Jersey, and Monmouth Park. I'm sure that's a close second in his heart to Del Mar on the West Coast, Mr. Pete Visco. Gentlemen, the gang's all back. How are we doing tonight?
What's up, gents?
Very good. Very good.
Been a while.
It has. First, quick shout out to you guys, Pete and Paul, for doing a great job filling for me in last week. I had a tremendous time at Saratoga. Appreciate everyone watching our Saratoga Today shows.
Paul wasn't there either.
Paul was not there. No, well, okay,
week.
Sorry. Well, I'm sure Paul.
I would have been great if I were there. Pete.
You would have been fantastic, Paul. In spirit, you were phenomenal.
Saratoga, we got a little that R word. I won't mention the word, Paul. Sort of ruined the turf course situation when I was there. But it's Saratoga, as you've said many times. A rainy day at the track is better than any day anywhere else. So anyway, Saratoga was a great time. I want to give a quick shout out to our buddy Patrick Kunzel from Ben and Boozin, who I went on that short trip with, and his good friend who I met for the first time, Ryan. Mistretta is his last name. Another proper Italian Pete is Pete's best friend. Pete's
always a good time.
Sorry, Patrick Kunzel's best friend. So got another proper Italian sort of within our. He's a distant cousin right now. We might bring him into more stuff, but anyway, I had a great time with them guys, and Saratoga was awesome. We had a wonderful day, and also thanks to NYRA Bets and Donnie Nelson, who Paul hooked us up at that wonderful gazebo area. I got it warmed up for our August trip. You know how wonderful a spot that is outside the 1863.
It is very, very nice. And I will be on the road in 9 days.
And we saw your favorite spot also, Paul, in the tell everyone where you like to hang out with Bob Mullins and the gang when you're at Saratoga.
Yeah, hang out on the four. Yeah, we hang out on the 4-star, Dave. The carousel to those of us who are very old, but it's pretty comfortable in there. It is. I'll tell you, it's good on a hot day because it's about 10 degrees cooler in there, and if it does rain, you're undercover. And I mean, I'm bouncing around. I'm paddock, press box, winner's circle. But yeah, that's our home base for the week. Doc Jeff Mora will be there starting Sunday.
Oh, cool. And will he be there in early August as well? How long is he going to be there?
He stays for 2 weeks. He's going to stay for 2 weeks.
I think I'm going to miss him. Okay. Well, anyway,
yeah,
later
we're all going to miss you unless we come back.
All right. Well, anyway, later in the show, guys, I have a little bit of a surprise. They had one of those giveaways, guys, those track giveaways, and it's a pretty cool giveaway. And I decided to grab an extra one. Let's just say, we've got privileges here at the HHH Racing Podcast. It's really cool. It's a Saratoga. It's one of those like silky kind of material. It's red. It says let it begin. And the back, guys, is like a concert kind of shirt where they have the stake races for the whole meet on there. So it's a pretty cool shirt. We are giving one away for free on this show tonight. I know it's a Monmouth-based show, but, there's nothing wrong talking about Saratoga a little bit as well. So I will talk later in the show. That's called a tease in the business. Later in the show, how you can get a free T-shirt, and it's a really cool one. We'll talk about that later.
I can't wait to win that T-shirt.
Hey,
you're eligible, Pete?
Yeah.
Why not? I say they're eligible.
I mean, sure. I don't have one. We don't have one, Paul, so we should be eligible. That's the way I look at it.
It's an extra large. The way Jackson's
going, I might fit him
at this point. All right, there you go.
That's what I wear. Yeah,
all right,
gotta keep this gut in check somehow. So I'm covered up.
All right, Pete, Haskell time. It's always a great race. Very exciting journalism coming back. We'll talk about it in just a little bit.
Yeah, it is exciting. It's always interesting to see. I mean, we'll talk about the race, so I won't get into anything, but I mean, we like to see the top horses come back and run in all the big races. I mean, that's what we're here for, right?
Yep, sure do. And by the way, as we promote what's happening this weekend, we have two of our talent will be on site. I'm so proud that we're able to do this, guys. We've done this now. This is the third week in a row. We've actually had HHH Racing Podcast talent on site at these big tracks. I'll talk about that a little bit because we have two gentlemen that'll do a little reporting for us. All right, guys. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. I greatly apologize. A little rusty, guys. Let's go and get to the races. Now, the first thing we're going to do, and we're going to do it quickly, is talk about, and it's going to come up on the screen right now, talk about races 5 and 6. These are outside of the pick 5. I'm not sure, Paul, why the racing secretary decided not to do 5 stake races in a row for the pick 5, but hey, maybe they just want to get bigger handle for the non-stake races. But this first race, gentlemen, is the WinStar Matchmaker. It's race 5 outside of the late pick 4 that we're going to be covering exclusively. It's a grade 3. We're not going to go through the PPs. Very even field. It seems like every year, Pete, this race is, sort of wide open without any standouts. It's a 1 1/8 for the older fillies and mares. Your thoughts on this race, Pete?
Yeah, I thought it was a good race. That's why I agreed with you. I was a little surprised they didn't use maybe this one in the pick 5 sequence, just because it's not like it's a cert field with a real big standout favorite. Without getting in too deep into the handicapping, I really like Suggesta here, the 5 horse. I thought, one thing you and I talk about we like to talk about the time forms a lot, and this is one of those horses where the buyers seem to be similar to the 2024 season and the 3-year-old season, but the time forms seem to jump up a bit. So maybe there's a move forward depending upon, maybe there was a move forward that just hasn't been taken credit for yet. And it was against better horses. So the results aren't that great. But now maybe getting to a level that I think suits her a little bit more. It's just one that I'm looking at, and I kind of like to kick off a little bit of a double into the next race that we'll talk about.
Paul, it's also very noteworthy that you've got Irad, Saez, and Flavian and JR all at Monmouth. I have a feeling Mr. Jose Ortiz might have a good day at Saratoga on Saturday, Paul.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. That this happens a lot. You got to look at Jose would be the obvious one, but guys like Jose Lascano and Carmouche, and guys who, again, being on tier 2 at a place like Saratoga is no shame in it. But yeah, they could. Pete, I like your pick, Pete. I like the 2 Sacred Wish. Friend of mine has a piece of that horse. But the thing about Suggesta, Pete, it'd be very easy to throw out that last race because that course was a bog.
Yeah.
That was Belmont weekend. That was the only. They took. I'm pretty sure they took everything else off the turf, other than that race. So if you want to throw that out, now she loses to She Feels Pretty, Cinderella's Dream. Well, that ain't
Yeah.
bad.
Which, is
So-
better than this field. Sacred Wish is one of those horses, Paul, that I just never get right. I really liked her last out, and she sort of crapped the bed and didn't. I mean, she had a little bit of a problem at the start, but just was never into it. So I seem to get that horse completely wrong every time. So I assume Sacred Wish will win this week if I do not include her.
Our good friend
Well,
Tanner Hawkins from Indiana, guys, will suggest to be the favorite. I'm going to say no.
I assume Sacred Wish just from class
so.
and name recognition,
Yeah.
right? I would think so.
It's going to be
But
spread out.
it would be
There's
tight.
going to
Yeah,
be
it's
4
tight.
horses within a point and a half of each other.
I don't have Paul. Did you have your top pick? I'm sorry, I was looking at the chat as we were speaking.
Yeah, I went Sacred Wish narrowly over Suggesta 2-5.
Okay.
With our friend Sean Flanagan third, Grayosh.
Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion here. By the way, Pete, the Chad that has not won a grade stake. Boy, did that angle help me last week in the Diana. We made a all-in play on Excellent Truth over She Feels Pretty. If you heard about that or watched the live show, and had a major cash. So there's 3 Chads in here, guys. I think Sacred Witch is a horse to beat based on class, but I don't know if I can trust her. And she's 5-2 more than I'm sort of thinking the way you are, Pete, but I'm not. I'm going with another Chad. I think Grayosh, guys, is really going to appreciate the turn back and distance. I don't have a real strong opinion here. I like Suggesta also. I wouldn't completely sleep on Nomo Candy for Safi, who might get loose. I just have a hard time believing a Safi turf horse is going to beat 3 Chads and a Weaver and a Motion and on the East Coast. But look, almost anyone other than the 7, I think, can win this race, guys. I'm assuming you agree with that.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, I mean, it's
I
pretty
agree.
evenly, and the odds sort of reflect that, which makes perfect sense.
Yep. Let's go to the other race, and this is me very quick conversation. That I want to talk before the pick 4, the race 6, the Monmouth Cup. It's a grade 3. It's a mile 8th on the dirt. I mean, guys, I've always been a big fan of Just a Touch, and I know he finished 3rd in the Met Mile, but he was a little bit wide on the first turn, which is amazing in a 5-horse field, and that bend didn't really do him any favors, and he still ran on a big number and probably one of the best races of the year. Honestly, 3 to 5 to me is value, Paul, in this race. If this horse loses, I'll be absolutely shocked.
Yeah, I would agree. Really formidable. That was a good field. Raging torrent of fierceness would be 1 to 5 in here without Just a Touch. The race didn't come up particularly tough. Classic Catch is okay. But yeah, I would say if this horse stays on his feet, he's going to be tough to beat. Flow, but just be calm, Flow, and just ride the best horse and win the race.
Yeah, Pete, I'm curious. I mean, assuming Just a Touch continues to run well, I'm sort of curious what Cox is going to do with him in terms of 1 turn or 2 turns when it, or maybe distance when it really matters. Like, I think he could be a really dangerous Breeders' Cup dirt mile horse. I know it's a long way away, but I don't know if he's quite good enough to beat the big horses going 1.25 miles, 1.125 miles. But I think going a mile in that, in November might be perk for him. But anyway, this race is almost a slam dunk, I would say.
Yeah, I actually I'm a little less. I'm not. I mean, I agree with you guys. I think he sort of towers over the field. The one horse that I would play maybe a double into with Suggesta just to go for a price, and would probably Dutch the Exacta here to try and make a little bit of a score. I like Surface to Air, the 6.
Okay.
I think that horse really doesn't like off tracks. So the last 2 weren't his best on his comeback. So if that's the excuse, maybe he's just not as good, and that could be the case. But if the reason is the off track, and then last time was also the layoff, I think if he can improve off how he was running a little bit last year, since the rest of this field behind just a touch is pretty weak, I like him, especially if you can get like an 8-1 price, and you can get him as what is he right now? The fourth choice in this race.
Yeah.
So you maybe get an exacta there, try and get a little score, and then I think I'd play like a light double into that one, just in case all hell breaks loose.
I mean, you're just not getting a value with Classic Catch. I got to be honest. If the discrepancy in odds is 3-5 and 5-2, I totally disagree. It should be 2-5 and 5-1. I mean, I don't think Classic Catch is nearly as good as Just a Touch.
No.
Well, we'll see. Service to Airs runs some big races. I'm not looking at the PPs. Pete, looks like you might. I think did he run a big race at Keeneland once? I think at an upset price. He's run some pretty big races, but not necessarily
24-1.
It was at Keeneland, 24. Good memory.
Yeah,
it was an optional claiming 80, and then then won the next out, but was disqualified, and then went to Parks and was in the mud and didn't run well, and then was off until June when he came back, and then ran third to Bishop's Bay and Nelson Avenue, who are pretty good. But again,
that's a pretty good race, Pete.
That was a good race, right? Yeah, and I just don't think his results on the wet track have been spotty, pretty bad. So maybe if you can get him on a fast surface, he'll at least be able to jump up and get second if Just a Touch runs away.
I love people in the chat that are honest, and we try to be, full discrepancy, full transparency. Alex Morel, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Thanks for joining the show. Just wanted to give me a compliment about the closing odds in the Foster. That Alex was wrong. I don't recall what Alex said, but the Foster was a fun race. Mindframe getting the job done there over Sierra Leone, and boy, who finished second? I'm drawing a blank now in the Foster.
God, who the hell was? I'm
okay,
blanking as well.
Anyway, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, thanks, Alex, for joining the show. Last thing, guys, let's move on to the late pick 4, and then we'll also talk about our shows coming up this weekend. Where is it? There we go, Katie. How about Mark Cassidy, Paul, crossing 4,000? He actually won a really tight photo of Colonial, and then won 4,001 here at Saratoga. I don't know how you guys feel, but I think Mark Cassidy is he's still almost underrated. I mean, he was in Canada for a long time. He didn't race a lot in the United States at first, and then he raced more in the United States. This guy is a damn good trainer. I mean, he's one of the best. He's one of the top. I think you can argue top 5 trainers right now in the United States. I think you can make a strong case for that. He's really good.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, certainly top 10 and maybe top 5. And I agree. I think he's great. He's a good guy. He's, it's always all about me, people. Pete. So I always judge how they are with us, those of us who have to talk to them. And he's always good. Very approachable, and he really is spread out. He's still a major force at Woodbine. Yet, he wins in New York. He wins in Kentucky. He's got a good crew. He's one of those guys who has people who've been working for him for 20, 25 years. So I wish he lost the photo at Colonial, so he got it at Saratoga, where he was.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the one thing about him though is he's probably one of the top trainers, but maybe doesn't get bet like one, so you get some value on his horses still, which is a nice thing.
I would agree. Let's get into the all stakes pick 4. This is the main focus of our show tonight. They do not have a pick 5 on Saturday that ends in the Haskell. They do have 3. There it is.
With five pick 5s on the card, and none of them end in the Haskell. That's just a little silly.
Do you think that's a journalism? Do you think that's because of journalism? They just figured it was a free space.
It could be, but don't you figure? I mean, they have, what is it? They have a $400,000 guaranteed pick 4 that we'll be talking about. That's not
ending
bad,
with journalism.
Ending with journalism. So I mean,
so
they're
much
still
for that
ending
argument.
they're still ending a big ticket bet with it. So who knows?
I think, Paul, they have 2 races after the Haskell. I think, I want to come on and be critical, but I think they're just trying to get bigger handle than on stake races, which makes complete sense, right? Because if you do nothing in the last 2 races, people are just going to ignore those 2. Now that it's part of their very late pick 5, maybe people are going to pay more attention to it. I mean, I've never been a racing secretary. I don't know. But anyway, the racing is great. Whatever the case is, guys, the racing is great at New Jersey. While we have that, let's talk about that right now, guys, before we get into the pick 4 here, because this is very important. We have 2 live podcasts on the bottom of the screen this weekend. Weekend Warriors, guys. Saturday is going to be 4 to 6:30 Eastern. And after I looked at the post times, Sunday we're going to start half an hour earlier, 3:30 to 6 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Big time races, by the way, Woodbine, including our wonderful Shards, is running in the Canuck Cup on Sunday, guys. We'll be watching it live here on the HHH Racing Podcast. Please join us this weekend for live conversation, live video at Monmouth and Woodbine. We are not going to be able to show the Haskell live per contract from Fox, but I think we can show the United Nations. I'm going to double check, but the undercard races in general, we will be able to show live here on the HHH Racing Podcast. So I'm very excited. Please join us this weekend. Please tell your friends. It's going to be better coverage than Fox right here on the HHH Racing Podcast with Patrick Kunzel and Kyle Roscoe will be live at Monmouth Park. I'm hoping to get the media credentials if Monmouth will cooperate. I haven't heard yet, but either way, they will be there live. At the very least, guys, in the paddock and outside, the winner's circle and with the rest of the fans, at the very least, to give us the great coverage at Monmouth. All right, guys, let's get into it. Here we go. The late pick 4, all stakes late pick 4. What is the minimum, Pete? You said 400,000. Is that right?
That's what it said. Yeah, 400,000 guaranteed. Late pick 4. Yep.
It'll be more than that, obviously. Probably close to $1 million, I would say. Stars the Wolf Hill, race 9, 5.5 furlongs on the turf, 100,000. It's gonna be tough for Super Chow to win, guys, because Super Chow is not gonna have a jockey. So I don't know if the horse is gonna know how to steer him the right direction. I found this to be a bit of a weird race. I don't want to talk in detail why yet. I'd rather you guys go first. But here's our picks on the bottom of the screen. I'm going 7, 6, 8. Paul's also going 7, 6, but then 5. And Pete is going 7, 3, 6. Wow, we're all going with nothing better. I thought it would be a bit of a
I thought
cheeky...
this was a tough race. Yeah, I thought this was a tough race.
Well, apparently not. Let's just move on. Race 10
is 7. Single in the pick 4.
Why is nothing better? Why is there nothing better in the race than nothing better, Pete? The number 7, 3-1 for Duarte and Irad as I bring up the PPs.
I mean, this is you get a little horse for course here. You get this horse 9 out of 11 in the money at Monmouth, likes the distance, another 9 out of 11 at the distance. And what I like, the last race wasn't very good, losing to my boy Prince, who's a really good horse, got out. But this horse isn't great necessarily. 8 years old now, so isn't always great off of a long layoff. And you could see the last couple times this horse was off a layoff, the second race was better. Now, I know there's a little bit of a layoff again, so I don't know if that tracks the same way, but it's still second off a really long layoff. So maybe he just needed that to get under him. And now if we can get him back, I mean, it's not like he's 8 years old, but it's not like he was bad and tailing off last year. He was still really good at the end of 24. And if we can get back to that, I think it puts him right in the mix here. He's also pretty versatile. He wins on the lead. He can sit off a little bit. You get Irad up. The works have been good, so it looks like he's still sharp. I don't know. I thought there was a lot to like about this horse.
You named a lot of things I was going to mention. Paul, I'll let you talk about this horse a little bit, and then I'll make a few comments, and we can talk about some others.
Yeah, well, I think none of us wanted to have to try to pronounce the 6, Pete, if we picked the 6. So.
Pretty much.
I was hoping you would do it.
Is he Vungu?
Yeah, that's the favorite, morning line favorite. I think will be the favorite, obviously coming off that real tough race in Dubai. But, beat nothing better by a neck at Colonial last fall. I agree with everything you said, Pete. This horse is very consistent, and no disrespect to those who have ridden him, other than starting with the last 5 races, say, but you go on an IRAD and you have a horse who's really consistent and who almost gets there, Pete. I mean, can IRAD make a neck
That's what
difference?
that's the
in
thing.
this
Yeah.
race?
Can IRAD move the horse forward enough to actually win one of these races instead of those 3 seconds we got?
Here's my main feeling. This is a weird race. Like there are a lot of horses that are meant for dirt, right? And I was looking for cross entries, guys, and looking for other like it looks like all these horses on the inside that are dirt horses look like they're running this race. Bucciarino and Super Chow and like guys, and a lot of them don't even have turf breeding, Pete. And I'm sure you and Paul looked at it. I mean,
Yeah.
I have
yeah.
no idea what to expect other than they're fast early. And I don't know about you guys, but if I have a horse that's going to turf for the first time, I just send and pray. Like this could be a crazy wild pace. I do have a concern
Super
about
Chow
nothing.
Super Chow, Howard, on dirt is really fast.
Really fast. I mean, but so
Really
so
fast.
is Silver Slugger, who is I know your
Right.
horse, Paul, you've liked a few times on this show. I mean, and has run some big races. I mean, I do have some concerns about Nothing Better, guys. He's 8. I don't love that. He was horrible last time. He might not have anything left in the tank. I don't know. But the fact that it's IRAD, and this is a big one, guys, to me, Colts Next Stable. If you don't know Colts Next Stable, they are based out in New Jersey. Guys, there's no way that they're going to embarrass this horse if this horse can't run. Like this could be his last race of his career. I actually don't know that. I'm just sort of speculating, guys, based on the situation. Like they don't know if he has, has a left in the tank. It's at their hometown track. Blah blah blah. He's just the best turf horse in this race, other than Izzy Vungu Vungu. Now, this horse, guys, to me is the most talented horse in the field and is the class of the field. But he's 7. He's coming back from Maidan. He has 3 very slow works since. I do think he's the horse to beat, but I don't trust this horse at all. And Pete, it sort of feels like they're prepping this for something else, maybe the Troy at Saratoga or something else. I don't know, but these are really slow works for a 7-year-old. I think it's these two. If it's not these two, I think it could be literally anyone.
Yeah, no, I was having a hard time with the 6 just because I just wasn't. I didn't love the. I mean, I just don't love the form of the last the 2 races as a 7-year-old. It's not like the race 2 back was bad, but I think probably should have won. And now I'm just looking at it going. I think they're relatively even, and maybe Nothing Better. I think they're close enough. So I think they're close enough.
Well,
Nothing Better to me. What?
If we assume that Nothing Better is the same as he used to be.
If
right?
we do, yes.
Right.
And actually, this horse too, like you said, 7 coming back from Maidan off a bit of a clunker. Who knows if this one is? That's the note that I had was, hey, maybe this one's not the same either.
No.
It's hard to know with some of these, especially as they get older. So.
Yeah, it looks like actually you guys threw what? You guys threw the 5 in there.
Very fast. I would talk the fastest turf horse. Forget the dirt horses. The 5 is the fastest turf horse. This horse is not terrible. It did not.
You
has
picked
not
this
run
horse
well
in the Pimlico race, didn't you, Paul? Am I right?
I did. Yeah, because anytime I write about a horse, I pick him and I lose.
Yeah. No, I mean he's fast. Pete's got the 3. I even threw the 8 in there, guys. If this thing falls apart, I mean, Amon's run some big races. I don't like the 8 hole going 5.5, especially with that little bend. But I think Zaya is just going to take back and hope there's a suicidal pace. And if it melts down, I think Amon can win this race to number 8. So I don't know, guys. I just think I'm chalking out a little bit in this race. I don't have a real strong opinion here. I don't know what to make of the dirt horses. If they're not all in, I think that helps Nothing Better even more, though. I will say that. If they're all in, I think Nothing Better could be wide. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Any other thoughts, guys?
No, sounds good. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Let's move on to race 10, and then I'll talk about the after race 10, guys. We'll talk about the Saratoga shirt giveaway. A lot of people in the chat can't wait for that shirt giveaway contest, which we'll talk about. Here we go, guys. Race 10. I've got our picks on the bottom of the screen, but I do need to bring up the race itself. It's the Molly Pitcher. Grade 3, older fillies and mares, $500,000. Woo, is the purse. a mile and a 16th. Excuse me. It does start the $300,000 late, very late pick 5. And again, we're not covering that, ladies and gentlemen, because the last 2 races are stake races and just just your run of the mill kind of races. So we thought the late all stakes pick 4 would be more appropriate. Morning line favorite here in the Molly Pitcher in a wide open race is the number 1 Candide, Pletcher, and NYRA. He's also got Leslie Rose, guys. Apparently, if the weather works out tomorrow, I believe, in the Shuvi, is that tomorrow, Paul? I think it's Saratoga. I think it is. Apparently, Pletcher's going to run there, guys. So Leslie's Rose will most likely not be running in this race. That's an important point for some people to make. Does take some early speed out of the race. Chad's got 2 in Occult and Randomized, but Occult doesn't have a rider right now. I was trying to find where she might go. I didn't see anywhere unless you have some intel, either one of you. Regaled, the 6, also doesn't have a rider listed. This race could change, Paul, quite a bit. I think you guys have intel on Occult, or maybe someone in the chat does. I have not heard anything.
No, I saw there was just a few more. There was a few more no riders than we're used to seeing in on this whole card, I think. Yeah. So I didn't read too much into it because I just didn't know if it was, hey, I don't know what's going on. I don't like to speculate if I haven't seen anything.
Okay. Very good. Let's see. They're giving me crap in the chat for something about a name that I'm not sure about, but that's okay. We'll just go ahead and move on. All right, guys. I'm going, where am I? 358. Paul. We're both going randomized. 387. Pete has randomized nowhere. I love it, actually. 481. Pete, let's talk about your 4. Majestic Oops. California bred. I looked at her carefully. I think I like your pick. It's sneaky. It's interesting. I don't think she's impossible at all. Dan Ward, 6-1. Isaac Castillo. Go ahead, Pete.
Yeah, this is one where you're taking a little leap of faith here because this one's sort of moving up the ladder and some of the others have faced much better. This is the first graded stakes try here, but got the win at Monmouth last time in the slot, beating a Colt, and beating her handily. I like, sometimes when you get these horses that are going into the graded stakes or haven't been in stakes, you don't know if they're going to run well off Lasix. This horse ran the last 2 off Lasix and won convincingly. The interesting thing with her is she's 29 races in as a 5-year-old, which we love, and she seems to be getting better. She's had back-to-back buyer tops, and you see the time form has jumped up. And that's, generally a 5-year-old can do that, but not necessarily in their 28th and 29th race. So for whatever reason, maybe she's just getting better. And like our buddy Matt Bernier used to say, hey, you pair up buyer tops, and sometimes there's a move forward there. And I'm looking at it going, if she does move forward from those last 2, that puts her right in the mix with the rest of these horses, even though they've been facing better. I think she can work out. She's very tactical. She can work out a really good trip from there. So I'm looking at her going, everybody else is a little bit of a question to me, where I think you see there, like if she gets that trip, I'm more than happy if we get a little bit of pace up front. And I think she's shown she could finish and pass horses. So, and at a decent price, I really like her.
Yeah, the 7 is not going to be in this race most likely. So the 4 could be sitting a great chip. I agree with everything you said. She's interesting. I just don't know about the class with her.
No, that's 100% fair.
Yeah, this is usually the kind of horse I like, though, Pete. This kind of sneaky, moving up in class, kind of unexposed at this level kind of horse. I just think there's some pretty good fillies and mares there, and I'm not sure she's going to class up. But I have really nothing negative to say other than that. Paul, you and I are going to go to randomize, and I'll let you talk first. But if you saw in the time form, this horse should be loose in this race on a track that usually favors speed. I'm assuming that was one of your thoughts here. The obvious concern is she good as she used to be? I guess the clear answer is no, but I think there's been a few circumstances that have gone against her in the last 2, but I'll let you talk more.
Yeah, well, again, I'll go back to the track condition at Saratoga. She may have not wanted any part of that track that day, Belmont weekend in the Phipps. And she wasn't, you talked about it, Howard. Her game is on the engine, and for some reason she was not on the engine. So Darth Vader ran very well that day, I will have to say, who's in this race. But I'm going to be more inclined to kind of draw a line through that. 2 losses to Raging Sea is nothing to to be ashamed of. This horse has been really consistent. I've always kind of liked this horse, and she's not the Chad Brown horse who hasn't won a graded stakes. She's run against the Iron time and time again, or the Ironess, I guess, if they're females. So yeah, I just think she's pretty good here. Especially, I actually would be using Leslie's Rose a little bit if she came. It makes sense that she'll stay home, and run right out of her stall at Saratoga tomorrow. I thought Power Squeeze was a little interesting because I always think Power Squeeze is a little interesting. But and by the way, there's regardless of who runs and who doesn't, there is no possible way we were ever getting 9-2 on randomized. That is Fruit Loops.
You're saying it nicely, Paul. I saw 9-2. I'm like, talk about unreasonable wager of the weekend. This horse is 9-2. I mean, here's how I feel, Paul. I echo many of your sentiments here. If randomized can still run at all, we're going to see it here. I mean, if she can't win this race or like run very well, I wouldn't be surprised if Chad and Klarovich retires her because she was really good at her best. And I think, okay, you can excuse the Churchill race off the comeback. And like I said, she lost the Raging Sea. No shame there, but it was only an 83 buyer. The track was really sloppy last time. It just didn't work out. She's supposed to show her best at this point, Paul, at least the best of what she's got. And she doesn't need to run a 95, 96 in this race. I think, a 93, 94, 92 might do. She's just supposed to be loose, ladies and gentlemen. And if she's anywhere near what she used to be, I love her. If she's like 5-2, I would love her in this spot. I don't know what she's going to be, but I like randomized quite a bit. You mentioned Power Squeeze as your second choice, Paul. I've got that one third. Boy, Paul, she was in two impossible spots in the Pegasus and then the Ghost Apper against White Barrio. But boy, she was supposed to win last time at 50 cents the dollar. I think she's going to get a real good trip. I like the fact that she's rested up a little bit for this race. There's not a ton of early speed. I think she's going to sit a great trip. I have her third just because she's hard to trust, but boy, she's faced some real good ones, and she's also supposed to, in theory, run very well here on Saturday.
Yeah, but let's not underestimate that she did not run well last time. And
No.
you say, well, Paul, she lost by a neck, but in that field at 1-2.
Yeah, she was stuck down inside. I don't want to make excuses for her, Paul. I know she's supposed to win, but she got she just got a weird. She got a little bit of I hate to bring this up, a little bit of a Dr. Venkman kind of trip, and sorry.
Yeah, well, she's going to get a better trip. Certainly, she's getting a better trip here.
Yes.
So they could go 1-2 all the way around. Candide can really run. I think obviously Pletcher would prefer that someone runs with randomized early.
Yes.
Because Candide is more of a come from behind. You look and she's never that far out of it, but she really is more of a closer, stalker closer. So I saw that comment. Look at Pratt's probably the best there is, but I used to beat up on Rosario more than anyone. I've come around. The guy's in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I think we just all have to get over it. Yeah, he does. He'll come up with a ride that scratches your head. But guy I spoke to on the phone last week, Howard, and working on a story. I will have a story in the official Whitney Day program in Saratoga. By the way.
Nice,
cool.
For the second time in 3 years.
Good for you.
So I was talking to Pat Day last week, and he was my favorite jockey when I started following the game. And there were a lot of times you were banging your head against the wall. The Pat wait all day, right? So, but Rosario, give me Rosario any day. But having said that, Pratt right now is kind of in another stratosphere.
Yeah, I think Darth Vader is one that's going to sit off a randomized. I think Darth Vader is naturally quicker than Power Squeeze. I'm seeing the race sort of a merry-go-round kind of race. Pete, you got the 8 second. Let's quickly talk about the 1, then move on, guys. Some horses we all think we have a good beat on, and others we can never figure out. I feel like I have a real good beat on Candide. I don't think Mile 16th is the best for this horse. She's very one-paced, and I don't think the rail's going to be great. Now, people are going to crap on that because at the bottom of the screen, she got a 99 buyer in the Lady Secret last year. But that was a very, very soft race, and they are walking on the lead. Pete, I just feel like she's not great when there's pace in the race and going a mile and 16. She's very, like I said, one pace. She needs like ground to make up room. I know IRAD can certainly get the job done here. I know Matt Miller in the chat likes this horse a lot. I'm against her. I'm going to bet against her. I just don't think the race sets up for her. But acknowledging that, I know she can win still anyway.
Yeah, I mean, she's just a really good horse who you don't always trust to win the race, but you always trust her to sort of run well. And I mean,
agree.
look, she's 10 out of 11 in the money in her career for 1.2 million, so she's no slouch.
No.
She just doesn't seem, I mean, like you said, you see the last 2 wins. So she did win a grade 1 going a mile and a 16th back at Keeneland, but the other 3 wins broke the maiden, which makes some sense. And then in 2 lower level stakes races, she just hasn't been able to get the job done in graded stakes since that win back in 2023. So she's just hard to trust on the win end. And again, you're getting a pretty short price, especially with IRAD. So it's tough there.
Yeah, she can win. I'm just look. You can't play 5 horses in a 7 horse field. I mean, you got to take some stands, and so I'm taking a stand against Candide. But we shall see, guys. Let's go ahead and move on to the penultimate race of the day that we are going to talk about, and that is race 11 in the United Nations. And before I do that, let's talk about the giveaway, everyone. So if you missed the beginning of the show, I've got a really cool extra large shirt from Saratoga. It's got like a silky kind of feel to it. The back of it has all the stakes at the Saratoga meet this year. It's like that concert style kind of shirt. It's sort of cool. And here's what I'm gonna do to give it away. Below the video player, I hope everyone's listening, not in our live chat. If you put something in the live chat, that does not count for the contest. Below the video player on YouTube, once today's show is sent out. So tonight, 10 to 15 minutes after the show, below the video player, where you can make comments below the description, here's what you have to do. Race 11 on Saturday at Saratoga is the Vanderbilt. It's a real nice 6 furlong sprint race. You need to give us the winner of that race, and also please put in your final time, because if there's more than one person, guys, that picks the winner below the video player of the Vanderbilt race 11 Saratoga, we have to do a tiebreaker. The tiebreaker is the final time to the nearest 2 digits, which means the nearest hundredths for you math people out there. I will mention all this in the comments below the video player. So for example, Mulligan 109.12, for example, Bookham Dano 108.91, whatever. So that if you want to be eligible, and we will contact you. Again, that's the Vanderbilt race 11 at Saratoga, not Monmouth, because it's a Saratoga shirt. So I want to do a Saratoga contest. Below the video player on YouTube, the winner of the Vanderbilt and their final time. And if there's a tiebreaker, we'll go to the final time, and I will mail you immediately this very cool shirt. There you go, guys.
I'm calculating now, Paul.
You want to take a guess right now? You don't want to say your picks right now. And you know what? Pete and Paul are eligible. Screw it. Usually I say no, my talent is not eligible. They're eligible, ladies and gentlemen. Deal with it. How about that? It's an extra large, by the way.
Yeah.
In case people want to know.
Oh, good. Good.
For men or women. It's I mean, a woman can wear this shirt. It's not. It's sort of, it'll work for both sexes there. So
unisex.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, unisex. There you go. The United Nations, guys. I like this race every year. I don't know about you guys. Sort of fun race. Mile and 3/8. Whoops, sorry, not that. Mile and 3/8. Grade 2 this year. 600,000. 3 turns. Nice field of 12. Let's give a shout out to the number 6 first of all, guys. Vote no. This is a recent claim for our friends at Crownsway Racing. One of the main reasons why Kyle Roscoe is going is because he is a very small micro share of vote no in a grade 2, 10-1 mooring line. Very cool. Kelsey Danner, Sammy Camacho. No matter what happens, guys, I'll be rooting for vote no to see if Kyle Roscoe can keep it together if they win that race. That he'll be going absolutely berserko. That'd be very cool, guys. Like I said, field of 12. Let's go with our picks on the screen. I'm going 7-3-4. Paul, you and I. Wow, look at this, Paul, tonight. You and I are either gonna have a great day, Paul, or a crappy day at Monmouth Saturday. Paul's same 3, 7, 3, 4, and Pete's like, you guys are crazy once again. I'm gonna go for Pete 9, 10, 3. Okay, interesting. Pete, we get to go to you first because look, that's how it all shook out. Major Dude, you're gonna chase him 15-1. Nice juicy
Yeah.
price. Pletcher and Velasquez. What say you, Pete?
I'm going to keep this one relatively simple. I just think this horse is better going a little bit longer. And I think
Okay.
even if you look at just simple, without handicapping too much, you just look from a buyer standpoint. Once they cut the horse back to 8 furlongs in the last 3, now I'm not saying that's the only reason. They cut the horse back. He just hasn't been as good. I like him better when he's stretched out. He wins his races more when he's stretched out a bit. Now he hasn't necessarily gone this far, but I do think and he gets Johnny V now. Not that it's going from NYRA to Johnny V, but I think his trip from the 9 hole is sort of the Johnny V trip, is what I'm looking for. So he can get sort of that first, second over trip. And I think just going the extra distance, I feel like he's going to run his best race. And at 15-1, if he does, I think he had. Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, Kyle. We gotta say how we feel here. I've got him 4th, Kyle. If that makes you feel better. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, I think the horse at least has a shot to win, Kyle. It just didn't make my top 3.
He's not impossible.
No, this is a wide open race, man. But we'll be rooting for you anyway, Kyle. So we'll be rooting for you. Depends on if we're trying to, if we have the first 2 legs in the pick 4, then and don't have your horse, then we might not be rooting as hard. But no, I just think I like the stretch out. And I think if this horse can get back to the races prior to those last few, I think he fits exactly, maybe a notch below, but he's close enough to where if I'm getting a 15-1, if I'm getting a double-digit price on him, I'm going to take him. He's not like a single to me or anything. I mean, I think it's a pretty wide open race.
If you guys might remember, I really liked him first in the in the Fort Lauderdale where you just waited and waited. It was an unbelievable ride. Here's my feeling, Pete, and I don't know. You could be absolutely right. He might be better going longer, but like he's been so bad in his last few compared to what he's facing.
He has.
I just think he got really good over the winter. So these horses go in and out of form. I just don't think he's the same. I think Todd thinks he's better longer, and maybe he is. But I mean, he's run some pretty big races, at mile 16th, and I just think he got really good there for a few months. I just don't think he's that good anymore, and they're just sort of reaching for something. Then again, I could be absolutely wrong on Saturday. That's just, I don't know how you feel about this horse, Paul. Do you want to make a quick comment because it is Pete's top pick?
I have him as a C in my grid.
So do I.
I think it's telling that Irad has ridden this horse about 7 times in a row and has only ridden Grand Sonata 2 of the last 3 and ends up on Grand Sonata.
That's fair.
You have to think that he made that call. But I think the horse has a puncher's chance for sure. As I said, didn't run well last time, but I hear what Pete's saying. He might be. He just might be better going this longer distance.
I agree. Paul, let's talk about Cherie DeVoe. Now, look, we're happy to take
future Hall of Famer Cherie DeVoe, please.
Look, for those I'm not going to speak for Paul, but I don't always pick Cherie DeVoe. I was against She Feels Pretty in the Diana last week, so that's proof of that. Whoops, that's that. Look at the time for him, Paul. There aren't a lot of like blazing horses in this race, unless we think the outside horse. I'm drawing a blank now, or one of the smoking.
Get smoking.
Get smoking. There's so many smoking horses. Unless the smoking horse decides to like show a ton of speed. I don't know if there's like blazing speed in here, Paul, but there's a lot of horses that want to be forward. Like a lot of them want to be forward. And I just have a feeling that Rebel Red, the number 7, is rounding into form. Cherie always said that she wanted to stretch him out. He's getting better and better. He's getting used to these long distance races. And I trust Saez to not be too far back and to read it. I like Rebel Red quite a bit, and I think we might get that 9-2 here.
Yeah, the price was appealing. Ironically, though, Howard, as you were talking, I'm not so sure that Rebel Red might not be a little more forward than usual with Louis on
Really?
him. Yeah, I don't know. But Louis is not. Louis has a hard time just taking a horse back to last and making one run. I think
True.
it's against his DNA. Um, but I do think, regardless, that I mean, you look at the last race, the Red Smith at Aqueduct, at this distance, the horse went to the lead. Now, I don't
True.
certainly want to see that, although there's no integration in here. But yeah, I thought this the price also did appeal to me. I'm a huge Cherie fan, as I said.
Yep.
Think she enters horses in the right spots, and 9-2 would be great. I think that might be a touch optimistic, but let's hope you're right.
I mean, he did get a setup last time. I will say that. I just he's learning how to rate and finish, and I like that a lot, guys. So I'm going to go with Rebel Red. Pete, you've got the number 3 third. Paul and I have the number 3 second. I think this is a horse to beat redistricting. I know that he got a really soft trip last time. He's also not been the distance, so that's why I don't think he's any kind of slam dunk at all. But he is lightly raced. He's always been very talented. If he can get the distance, he's going to sit a great trip here with Flavian. He just makes a lot of sense, Paul. I don't have anything creative to say here.
Yeah, I agree. That we talked a lot about that Churchill Downs race, the Turf Classic, and
Yep.
that was just a mad scramble in the last 16th, and this horse was right there in the lane and just got overtaken late. But I do think he gets a favorable trip, and while that was, as you say, a kind of an easy effort last time, um, Pratt is the regular jockey. Pratt's back, and this horse is the horse. Fairly close to the inside. No reason to think that he's not going to get a good trip here. And I agree with you, Howard. I picked the 7, but I do think the 3 is the horse to beat.
Yep, I agree. Let's quickly talk about other 2 and then go on to the Haskell. Talk about Get Smoking, Pete. I've been wrong. This is a horse I can't figure out. But I think that's fair because this horse is so damn inconsistent. He's already 8. I think he's lost them off the fastball. You got to figure Dela Cruz is just going to send and take his chances. I'd like him a lot more, Pete, here. I just think there's other early speed. Maybe not as good as early speed as he is, but he just has been giving it up lately. I know he won the Valedictorian in December, but the Valedictory, at Woodbine. I don't know. I don't know if he's the same, but if he wires the field at 8-1, would I be absolutely shocked? No.
Yeah, my thinking with him is back on the turf where I just don't want him. You see those races where he sort of crapped the bed 3 and 4 back, and
Yeah.
I mean they were big time races, but you see the pace he was setting, and I mean you see just from a time form standpoint, 174, 151. I mean, my thought with him was
Yeah.
I'm just going to include him because if he just gets on the lead and he's able to just set a sensible pace, then maybe he can hold. Maybe he's not good enough to hold when he's setting those kind of fractions. But I don't think there's a ton of speed in here to the point where if he got the lead and it was sort of clear and loose, it wouldn't surprise me. And if he does that, he's a lot more dangerous. If he goes out and he starts cutting some crazy fractions, then I think he's just going to back up. But on the turf, speed sometimes where you just watch a horse get out there and go. It's happened enough to where I don't mind putting him on my ticket just in case that happens. And he won it last year. I'm a sucker for defending champions. I always like a defending champion in a race.
He won it last year. I'm glad you mentioned that. With a horse like limited liability, Pete, I feel like Get Smoking might get away with a slow first quarter, but like at some point someone's going to push him. It just like has that feel like limited liability and Zatori's done that several times. Right, that horse like he realizes it's a slow pace and just goes after a horse.
And
like
goes,
I don't see it, but I'm going to use Get
And
Smoking.
if that happens, fine. I mean, I feel like I'll be deep enough in this race. This isn't a race where I'm going like 2-3 deep. I probably would try and go as many deep as the bankroll allows in this race, just because I don't fully trust even the redistricting. Hasn't won a graded stakes race, so that's one of those horses that I don't fully trust either, and will be the favorite. So I think it's kind of wide open.
I agree. We didn't really talk about Vote No. I really should have, but I mean, Vote No is won his last race for Crown's Way. Kelsey said he could stretch out. She's done a brilliant job with him. He's always been talented. He's sort of the now horse. I don't know if we were getting 10-1 on Vote No in the United Nations. I actually think he's going to drift down to like 5-6-1. But good luck to Vote No, who has an outside shot in the United Nations. All right, guys, here's the big one. It's the running of the Haskell. It's a grade 1, race 12. It's about 5:45 Eastern. We'll be talking about the race live here on the HHH Racing Podcast, along with all the other ones. This Saturday, please go to our YouTube channel and check us out live. We got a whole bunch of people that are going to be on, including yours truly. I'm very excited about this weekend. Grade 1, $1 million, mile and eighth, of course, for 3-year-olds. Field of 8, ladies and gentlemen. Big morning line favorite, deservedly so. The number 2, Journalism, the Preakness champ, second in the Derby. San Anita winner. He's just an awesome horse. He's clearly the second best horse right now in the crop, next to Sovereignty, who, by the way, guys, if you saw at X, I had the privilege of meeting Sovereignty in person at the barn on Monday. Thank you to Junior Alvarado. Thank you to Irma, the groom of Sovereignty. It was really cool, guys. Go on to our X handle if you didn't see me. And Sovereignty was a little bit playful with me, and boy, what an honor. He's got to be worth, I don't even know how much, 50 million right now. I don't know what he's worth, but that was very cool. Journalism is very good in this race, guys. And look at the bottom of the screen. Wow, Paul, 4 for 4, my friend. I'm going 286. Paul's going 264. And look at Pete once again on his island. Might have a monster day. Pete Visco, if you follow him in his picks, he's going to go against Journalism. He's going 6-2-4. And Pete, usually I like to vary up who goes first, but look, I want to give the oddball, and I say that in a complimentary way, to go first. You're going to think Gosker, excuse me. This is the time to upset Brendan Walsh. 9-2, ran a good second in the Preakness and sees his old nemesis once again.
Yeah, the way I'm looking at it, I mean, I'm not stupid completely, at least not all the time, not every time, but obviously Journalism is the best horse and most likely will win this race. The way I looked at it is what we don't know about Journalism is, and the works don't necessarily show this, so it's probably not the case, but we don't know how running in the 3 Triple Crown races, whether it took a little sting out of this horse. Sure. So coming back off that, we'll see. So is this the time maybe to get him, because he still is coming? Now they gave him some time. He's had some time off, but it wasn't, it's not a ton. So he's had a month and a little bit of change off. But what if he comes back and he's just not at his best? And I look at Gosker and I just think he's still young and not young enough, young in race experience to where we're not sure if he'll still move forward. I mean, he came off basically in his 4th race in the Preakness. He ran huge. Now, Journalism had all that trouble, and it was an amazing race by Journalism, and he ran him down. And if he got a clean trip, he would have beat him a lot easier, most likely. But I still think Gosker has a lot more of a forward move in him still. And if he can do that, and if for some reason Journalism just isn't 100% and going the mile and an eighth, maybe he's just not there late for some reason, and Gosker gets the jump on him. Yeah, I'll take the shot that this is the time maybe to have it happen. But I would, if I'm playing like pick 4, pick 5s, I would just play Journalism and Gosker, and I would actually play both of them together.
You want to answer Ed's question, Pete? Pete, how does the 6 win Gosker when they, meaning other horses in the Preakness, crashed behind him last start?
Yeah, I mean, the only way he wins is if he gets better. He has to get better, and maybe Journalism isn't at his best. So, yes, everything went wrong for the horses behind him last time. And again, obviously, Journalism is the horse to beat. But Gosker, again, it's his 5th start only. That was a big jump for him. And I thought he ran really, really well. Even if he would have lost by more, he still ran really, really well. And again, if he can move forward from that, I think he's closer. He's probably not to Journalism's level, so he needs Journalism to come back a little bit. And again, running the 3 Triple Crown races, we're not sure yet how it's going to have, if it has any sort of negative effect on Journalism.
Yeah, I mean, Gosker is interesting. We'll see. How many lengths does he have to improve, Pete? I know that's a very arbitrary number.
He's going to have to improve a good amount. I mean,
how many lengths?
I don't know. 4, probably.
Yeah, I would say so.
But it's not beyond the realm of possibility. No. I think, especially, I think his breeding suggests that he likes the longer. He likes the distance, and I think he'll run at his best at these 9 furlong and up races, most likely. So if that happens, we just maybe haven't seen the best. Now, again, where he gets to may not be good enough to catch journalism. And if that's the case, he loses. Well, I'm not going to not have journalism on my ticket. So, shit happens. But I think at least there's room for improvement here. We don't know what he is just yet.
2 last questions for you, Pete, that I think are important. Number 1 is give me an odd number that you would. I don't mean an odd number. Sorry, give me a number at post time that you would put a win bet on Gosker. Question number 1.
I mean, I feel like he'd have to be. I would play the 9-2 if he's 9-2 and up from there. I wouldn't go too much lower than that.
Do you think he'll be second choice, or do you think he'll be goal oriented?
I don't know. I mean, don't you feel like at Monmouth, Baffert just is going to take money, Baffert-Pratt combination. So, I mean, I can't see him being lower than goal-oriented. I mean, maybe just because he ran second in the Preakness and people know his name a little bit. But, man, at Monmouth, Baffert and Pratt are just going to take a crap load of money.
And the other question, Pete, if you have to choose one of the 2 scenarios I'm giving you, is it more likely that A, journalism takes a step back, or that B, Gosker improves?
I think it's more likely Gosker improves than journalism taking a step back. But I'm just wondering if there's a chance that will happen. But I think like I said, I think Gosker could improve, and it just might not be enough of an improvement to beat a horse as high quality as journalism.
Paul, I like to beat a favorite as much as anyone else. I thought about it strongly. Here's my feeling about journalism, and we don't need to go into a lot of detail. He's awesome. We all know it, whatever. If Eclipse Thoroughbreds and Michael McCarthy didn't think he was absolutely 100% ready to run this race, there's no way they would ship him across the country in this race. We have no reason not to trust these connections, right, Paul? I mean, they ran in all 3 legs, and they ran great in all 3 legs. This would be, in theory, Paul, the time to take a chance against him, right? That he's got to ship all the way across the country. What Pete mentioned, this is a full send. I trust McCarthy, and I have just no reason not to. And not only do I trust him, he's just the best horse in the race by a few lengths. I'm not going to mess around. If I get 4 to 5 on journalism, again, I think that would be an overlay.
Yeah, and Pete, last thing on Gosker, you didn't mention you're a time form guy. He has the best time form figure.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
Great.
128.
Yes, he does.
I'll bring that up.
I agree.
I forgot to mention that.
My feeling is this. I think journalism is, in many other years, is clearly the top 3-year-old in the country.
No doubt.
And this year, he is clearly the second best 3-year-old. I mean, I hope he keeps winning, because I know all my California friends are going to bet him when Sovereignty runs against him out there and beats
Paul,
him
wait,
again.
isn't he the best because he's run more races than Sovereignty? Isn't that the case?
Pete, were you in on that argument, Pete?
I was polite, reading it. I didn't. Yeah,
you were polite.
You were very polite. I was proud of you.
Yeah, journalism's run a lot more.
You were
races.
cutting in and out, Paul. Wait, Paul, sorry, you were cutting in and out the mic. What happened there, guys, with your exchange? We couldn't hear you guys.
He had a Twitter a twit-a-tet with someone who said journalism is the top 3-year-old because he's run more races.
And they've sort of played like it was almost like a kid glove scenario with Sovereignty, but journalism has sort of danced all the dances.
And Sovereignty's taken the easy out. Well, I got to tell you, I mean, I think Burnham Square's legit. I think Gosger's legit, Pete. Goal oriented is probably legit, but there's 3 horses in this race with 0 chance to win, 0. And Bracket Buster has maybe a 3% chance. So this is not exactly, that's one of the reasons why, Howard, I didn't try to beat him. I don't think he has to be at his best to win this race. I agree with you about them, not shipping him if he weren't. And hey, it's a grade 1. And look they deserve all the credit in the world. 2 things can be true. People seem to want to think, well, if you think that the journalism people deserve credit, then you got to knock the Godolphin people. Well, I'm going to choose to to say both of them have handled their horse masterfully, and they're the two best 3-year-olds in what is a decent crop. So, yeah, I think Burnham Square on his best day could jump up. I got him as a B. Goal-oriented, who was in that mix in the Preakness, although I think he was pretty much out of gas by that point. But, yeah, I just think, again, journalism's got like 3 horses to beat in this race. And if I was going to say if he stays out of trouble, but I think he proved in the Preakness he could probably get in some degree of trouble. Now, you don't, at Monmouth, you don't want to be coming from too far back, but this horse showed in the Belmont. This is not a closer. This horse is very tractable forward. I mean, this is a really, really good horse. And I hope he wins. I hope he wins big.
Yep, he won. He's 3.2 million. Some of the horses that have no hope in this race will show early speed. So I think one of the ways that journalism loses any race is that there's a really good speed horse that gets loose and he just can't catch them. I don't see that in this race here, and that's why I have the 2. Now, goal-oriented. This horse had one hell of a career so far. I was completely blown away with his debut, and in the Kentucky Derby betting challenge on May 3rd, I made a big bet on him. I actually got 6-5 and moved way up in the standings and was happy to get the win. And then I was completely against him in the Preakness. So I've been right about this horse a bunch of times. I'm certainly wrong about many horses many other times. But again, this is a horse I have a good feel for, guys. Have you guys watched any of his works on XBTV leading this race by any chance?
I've not.
Okay.
No.
Let me fill some people in who don't have that access. He's obviously working well. I mean, duh. Look at the workout times, right? But what I really like is he seems to be mature, guys. He's not rank in his workouts. He's not like a runoff like he was a little bit earlier in his career. And you know what, guys? Baffert has put him in behind horses. Now, when I say in behind, I don't mean like right in behind taking dirt, but it's clear to me that they're trying to teach a goal-oriented to sit off of horses and finish. Now, I heard from a good source earlier today who heard that they're going to be just dead sending this horse and trying to wire the field. I'm not so sure that that's what they're going to do here. I have a hard time believing that. I think they're going to let the cheap speed go. He's going to be in the clear, not like he was, in the Preakness, like, on the inside, blah, blah, blah. He's going to be in the clear and the outside. He's a big MFer, guys. He's going to have every chance to win this race. I don't know if he can beat journalism, but I think he is a major, major threat, which again is not really saying anything cheeky. He's 4-1 morning line, and I predict will be a strong 3-1 second choice over 2-5 journalism, in my opinion. I think he can win, guys. Yes, Pete, he's got to improve just like Oscar, no doubt about it. Just this whole vibe is that he's going to improve a lot. I mean, even Baffert admitted they rushed him back too quick in the Preakness. That was just not a good move at all. There's no reason why this horse can't jump up to a 100-101 buyer here and just run a massive race. I'm expecting a big, big race from goal-oriented. I've got him second. Paul, you don't like him at all. I'd love to hear you guys reasoning why, if it's just a Baffert thing or whatever, but why you guys don't have any in the top 3 at all.
There's 4 horses. There's 4 horses that are going to be in the top 3, and it was between him and Burnham Square for third. And I'm kind of a Burnham Square fan. And if Goal doesn't get that trip, I think it's more likely that Burnham Square, with his running style, would run third than goal-oriented.
Yeah, that was pretty much my thought, where I thought if goal-oriented does go out or just gets out-kicked, Tom Espinoza slight a bit of a concern on goal, Corey. I was just going to say that best 2 races with Lasix. Now, again, we always talk about it on here. Lost Lasix, but was also in the Preakness. So was it the class? Was it the Lasix? Was it a combination?
With the incident too, like the incident's not because of Lasix.
So it's so hard to know what the downfall was, but it could be that. So maybe he just doesn't run his best off Lasix. We'll see. By the way, I always give you stats that poo-poo. This one is not a poo-poo. Baffert in the last 2 months in just dirt routes, just plain old dirt routes, 6 for 11 wins, 10 for 11 in the money. Some of his stats are just unbelievable still.
I just feel like I just feel like a lot of his 3-year-old speed he rushed this year. Like
Yeah, I
like
don't think they were.
I don't know
Yeah,
why he was in such a damn rush, but like Barnes and like let these horses develop a little bit. I don't know why he just was in such a hurry with some of these horses. And people can crap on me if they want. What do you know about training? It's about like we can still question people, Paul. I mean, we know about horse racing. We see what we see. I just think there's a major step up with Goal. Maybe it's not Saturday, but it's coming at some point. Burnham Square, Paul, you're a big fan. I've gone back and forth on this one. He's going to get pace to run into. I just think in the races like the Bluegrass, I know that's your boy East Avenue, who he then lost to in the Matt Win, but that was a really slow pace. I still just don't know how good Burnham Square is, to be very honest. You obviously
We
think he's
have to
pretty damn
talk
good.
about do we have to talk about the Bluegrass?
I'm sorry, what race? I forgot about it already. Go ahead.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, and Pete, Howard, I'll go back to your horse. I mean, we saw Chad Brown win that Diana, and I think it was his 10th win in the Diana. Well, Baffert
Yes.
has won this race 9 times, and that is one thing. Pete, you said you pay attention to defending champs. I pay a lot of attention to trainers who have
yeah.
success in a particular race. He's won this race 9, count them 9. And if he goes to that hot dog place near Monmouth, then he's a lock because that's his routine. He goes to a hot dog place. But yeah, again, I think Burnham Square that was literally a pick to run third. I think goal oriented is, I got them both as Bs on my grid. I think goal oriented is as likely a winner, if not more likely winner. But again, after those 4 guys, unless you think Bracket Buster's going to run out of his skin, this there could be a really big gap from 4th to 5 through 8 in this race.
Yeah. I mean, all this great conversation is wonderful, but I mean, look, there's a big contest coming up. Someone's going to finish second. If you can hit that exacta, I don't think any of the exactas are going to be awful because, like you said, who do you put in second? Is it there? You got a choice of 3 there, Pete and Paul, right? So if you can hit the exacta, if journalism wins, you're still going to get what 3-1, 4-1 on that exacta with a supposed cinch, not according to Pete, but a lot of people
No, for sure.
with the cinch there, right? So it's gonna be. I hope it's a great race. I selfishly would like to see journalism win, just because I think he's an awesome horse, and I just I love the fact he's flying all the way. I mean, they could have waited, guys, right? They could have waited for the Pacific Classic. They could have done a lot of things. I just love the fact they're coming back out east because a lot of times, Paul, we haven't seen that from some of the West Coast non-Baffert horses. Hats off to Eclipse and Michael McCarthy, the way they're campaigning this horse. I think we all would agree that it's very noble, correct?
I agree, but I hope, I know there's a lot of talk about the Pacific Classic, but boy, geez, it would be a shame if he doesn't come back for the Travers. I hope
I
that
don't think they're
shipping
going
him
to,
east.
guys.
Oh, see, I think
Yeah,
I
well,
think I
You
don't.
think
I
they
would go
will?
the other way. I would think.
I
I would
agree
almost
with you,
think.
by the way, and I have a theory on that, but I'm not gonna.
You agree with me that he's not going to come back? Is that correct,
I
Paul?
think they may. I think that it would be, the Pacific Classic at Del Mar, where the Breeders' Cup Classic is. The Pacific Classic field will not be as difficult as the Travers because Sovereignty is not going to be in it, and I think it's still $1 million race. If not, it's close. So yeah, but I'm obviously hoping for another round of that just because it's great theater.
And
Do
I
you,
know
do you,
Pete, a lot of people would see that as dodging. That's the story, right? Oh,
well,
he's dodging sovereignty.
I'm
But
actually gonna.
Pete, when the
Yeah.
Breeders' Cup is at Del Mar, I don't think they're dodging it at all. They haven't dodged sovereignty all year. Why would they be dodging now in the Travers? I think if I own journalism, I wouldn't go to the Travers. Stay
See,
at home.
I
Stay
go
at
the other way.
home. Stay at home. Get a race over the track. Win the Breeders' Cup Classic, and like I would have no issues with it. I know they would get a lot of heat for it, but I think that'd be totally unwarranted, in my opinion.
No, I agree with you. I think that probably makes the most sense. But the way they've campaigned this horse, it feels like
Maybe.
they're racing in the races that he's supposed to be in. And I feel
Yeah.
like, do they want to win, say, 3-year-old Eclipse? Now, yeah, if you win the Classic at Del Mar, then that maybe does it. Or do you want to say, you know what, let's give Sovereignty another shot and try and beat him in the Travers? I don't know. It depends if they're just looking at this as a real with a competitive spirit as opposed to, and I'm not saying that like if they don't do it, they're not competitive. I'm just saying if they're like, you know what, screw it, let's go try and get them again and see if we can get them this time.
That's
And
gonna be a
then
hell of
we'll
a that's gonna be a hell of a vote in a conversation, guys. Right? If Sovereignty wins the Jim Dandy and the Travers, hold on, let me finish. And journalism wins the Pacific Classic against Older, and then beats Sovereignty in the Breeders' Cup Classic. That would be a tough vote.
That's
That would
tough,
be
right? Yeah, yeah.
really tough vote. I suppose they'd lean to Sovereignty anyway, but that would be a really tough vote, Paul.
Oh,
If he
you want
beats them
to
in the Classic.
don't lose any sleep over worrying about something that's not going to occur.
Wow. Hey, Jackson, Ryan, and Noah, did you hear that? I hope you guys just heard that. All right, guys, let's go to the best bets. Best bets, Pete, you're going to go first. 9th race, a pick 3, 3-7 with 4-8 with 3-9-10, and then race 10, a double 4-8 with 4-10. Feel free to expound for a minute here.
Yeah, really, the pick 3 is just what it is. It was sort of my top choices. What I was doing in the double, I was trying to. Ideally, I wouldn't mind getting to. Wait, did I put the wrong? I apologize. I put the wrong
copied and
horse.
pasted, so that is what you.
No,
gave me.
I did the double. I did the double wrong. That's my fault. It should be
all right.
9-10. That's my apologies because I
Okay.
I wanted to play a double into the 2 price horses, so it was Major Dude and Get Smoking.
Got it.
So
There
I
we
wanted
go.
to play.
Sorry.
So
Go ahead.
that's
9,
my
10 on the
fault.
end.
Yeah, so the double is 4-8 into 9-10. So it's Power Squeeze and Majestic Oops into
Speaking of oops.
yeah, speaking of oops, into Major. So that's a nice double if it could come in because I just think there's some prices in there and similar with the pick 3. So that's about it.
Okay, I like it. And then Paul, you're going to race 9, a $6 pick 3, 7 with 3-7-8 with 3-7, which costs Paul
To 640, $36.
That would be correct. You just got an A on Mr. Kravitz's math exam. Good job. Quickly about this that bet, Paul.
Yeah, well, I just I think unless you want to beat journalism, I just think there could be more value in playing a multiple ticket pick 3 like this. Say a $6 pick 3 as opposed to a $2 pick 4, for example. Everyone and their uncle is going to be single to journalism. Not what I'm saying. Anyone who's got any type of budgetary restrictions. So I looked at it. And I think Pete started a pick 3 in the 9th as well, right, Pete? Did you start a pick 3 in the 9th? Yeah, I just wanted to stay out of that journalism race. So that's that. The horse you and I both like. Well, we like all the same horses. Nothing better, Howard. And then I'm into randomized, and that could be single because I think my second horse there was Leslie's Rose. So I'd be glad to play it for $12 if Leslie's Rose stays home. And then I went with redistricting and Rebel Red.
There you go. That's Paul's pick 3. I'm just going to do a double, a $10 double. I'm going to do the Molly Pitcher, randomized, and Darth Vader, who I think is going to run a big race sitting off. I know that she won in the slop last time. I just have a feeling that the number 5 in the Molly Pitcher, Darth Vader, is coming around. I think she sits a great chip right off of randomized. If randomized is not just her anymore, I think she gets first run. And then I agree with Paul. Redistricting and Rebel Red for me, it's not overly creative. It's not a monster, price plays. I just feel strongly about it. And I think I'm going to get a decent price on some of those horses based on the morning lines, etc. I'll play that double for $10 for a total of 40. Gentlemen, as we wrap up the show, been a really good time. Great to have the gang all back. Any final thoughts? Paul, you want to give we're not covering Saratoga this week on this show. Any thoughts on Saratoga or any thoughts? Del Mar opening, of course, our younger guys, Pacific Horse players did a fantastic job with both those tracks. Any final thoughts or any personally? Do you have a rant, Paul? I'm so sorry. Do you have a rant?
Yeah, no. I do a mini rant on the fact that the Vanderbilt is a grade 2 is one of the most idiotic things. And I know it's easy to sit back and take shots at the graded stakes committee, and I try not to get involved. But you got to look at these races. You can't look at them as a one race deal or two race deals. That race has great, unbelievable history. Ironically, the year they downgraded it, horses came out of it, did really well. So I think it's a great race. It's a great day of racing. You mentioned, Howard, you love the weekend between the opening at Del Mar. Although the opening at Del Mar was kind of a big event. Didn't it used to be like on a Thursday? Wasn't it like everyone took off? It's regular time though tomorrow, right? It's not a Friday. Yeah,
correct.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I'll be
West
Coast.
5 o'clock here in Lynn, Massachusetts.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm looking forward. We talked a lot about New Jersey tonight. My favorite New Jersey bred and my New Jersey guys, my favorite Jersey guys, other than Pete Visco, the Bookham Dano people. I don't know that 6 furlongs is his. Well, I do know it's not his ideal distance, but the fact of how well he runs at Saratoga and the purse, I certainly see what they're doing. Just such a likable horse. It was great to see him win on Belmont weekend. So yeah, rooting for all of the above. And on a personal note, got a chance to spend a wonderful week with our favorite Kentucky family. The Dormans were in New England from last Wednesday until this past Wednesday, and spent 4 days in beautiful Kennebunkport with them, and played the tour guide, took them around Boston Monday, and they are safely back in Kentucky and had a wonderful trip to New England.
Terrific.
Awesome.
I'm glad the Dormans had such a great time. Just America's family, the Dorman family. Yeah. Pete, final thoughts about anything at all?
Yeah, I'll do a personal note as well. I get to the next 2 nights. I get to watch my son Jackson, who's popped up on the show a bit. He's been at a 2-week acting camp, and they're prepping for a show. So you'll appreciate this, Paul. He is playing, it's a show called Something Rotten Junior. It's about the creation of like the first theater play or musical. It's a made up story, obviously. He's playing a Puritan, grumpy old man who doesn't like the fact that they want to put on plays. It's anti-religion, and the fact that his daughter is running around with some young kid who's an actor or something. I forget all the details. So my son is playing the Paul Halloran role almost. He's playing.
Oh, I love it. Can we get it streamed? Pete, can you stream it live? So
I'll have to see. I'll see if they if they film it and put it on YouTube. I'll send it out to everybody. But
Absolutely.
I figured you'd appreciate that, Paul. He said all his scenes are him coming out just yelling at everybody with his own mini rants. So
sounds like a perfect role. Sounds like a perfect role for a Visco, for sure.
Yes, that is definitely a perfect. No, we're not. We like debauchery in the Visco family, so we don't usually rail against debauchery in the
last thing, once again, below the video player, literally in about 5 minutes. If you're watching the replay, you don't have to worry about the time. But when this show is posted on YouTube, below the video player, again, not in the chat comments right now, below the video player in the comments section, this T-shirt, really nice extra large T-shirt with all the stake races on the back of it for Saratoga. I'll be mailing this out to someone. And below the video player, the winner of race 11 at Saratoga on Saturday, the Vanderbilt. And you must give me the final time of that winner, including 2 digits after the decimal point. Again, like 109.43, whatever, in case there's a tiebreaker. Guys, a lot of fun. We wish everyone great success this weekend all over the place, New York and California. Most especially, we want you to crush your bets at this year's Haskell at Monmouth Park in Oceanport, New Jersey. We'll see Kyle and Patrick live Saturday. Check out Weekend Warriors this weekend. Take care, everyone. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.